All right, we are back at the morning show with Martino and Rob. I took over the controls now. We're going to get into a little bit of politics, into a little bit of entertainment. Let's get the politics out of the way because, frankly, it's pretty boring. Last night, Melania Trump did an interview with Anderson Cooper discussing her husband's recent comments about just I don't really know
the locker room talk.
Yeah, that thing. She's discussing it. And I have a little clip here from Anderson Cooper from the interview.
Well, is that what it is to you? Just locker room talk?
Yeah, it's kind of two teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was 59.
Correct. And sometimes I said, I have two boys at home. I have my young son and I have my husband. So, but I know how some men talk, and that's how I saw it. Yes.
Okay, so those were her comments. Obviously a little ridiculous. I don't really understand. Obviously I'm not a woman, but as a female, how do you not denounce those comments? Even if it is your husband, even if he is running for president.
It's the presidential election. So unfortunately for her, she's gotta get her husband's back because I think it's just automatically a loss if she doesn't have his back because that's supposed to be the person closest to you, aside from your children and your parents. It's supposed to be your best friend in life, the person that loves you more than anything. And if they don't have your back on what you say when you're running for the most powerful position in the world, and they don't have your back, then why should anyone else?
Okay, but with her, there's no way there's no way she is in love with Donald Trump. Like it's money.
She's probably in love with the idea of Donald Trump. But I can't speak for her. I don't actually know.
We can't.
But at the same time, I mean, the guy's had a few marriages now. I mean, how many women does he even actually love? Too. At the same time, does he actually love her? Like
no, there's
you
no way.
never know. Like you can just tell how much someone actually cares about someone when they actually talk about the person. And the way he talks about her is just more about her looks and stuff like that. When they found those pictures of her.
Yeah.
Years ago, and he's like, "Why wouldn't you be proud of pictures like that?" Or it was something along the lines of that. It's just a totally different thing because he's actually an outlier. Like he's totally different from anyone ever in terms of his personality and the way he acts and the way how he talks about things. He's like the best businessman of all time.
Yeah. I would say Donald Trump's personality is basically everyone's personality, Donald Trump's personality is everyone's ugliest side of themselves, where you're just brutally honest, but you're not honest about positive things, you're honest about negative things, and you're just rude. And I mean, he's a good businessman, I'll give him that.
Donald Trump makes you realize why lying is good sometimes.
Okay, I could see that. But then
I mean, I know this is going to sound mean. I don't know if it's appropriate to say. But, I mean, like, if someone is actually, like, you don't find them genuinely attractive, but you're not going to tell them to their face.
No.
You're not going to make them feel worse about themselves. Like, am I ugly? Like, Yeah, you're pretty beat. I'm sorry. Like, you're very difficult to look at. Like, you're not gonna say that. He says that, and as I'm not. I think it's kind of funny, but at the same time, like, it's just wrong. Like, you can't say stuff like that.
It's just
you're running for president, and even Hillary too. At the end of the day, they're really dampening down on what it means to actually be president of the United States.
Yeah, they're ruining the job.
There's honor in it. There's respect. It's a position that's held in high regard, and now it just seems like a joke that anyone can get it.
It is a joke.
It's at this point they're making it a joke, and that's a problem because that's just. in terms of what actually made America great at some point, and I don't care. I hate the people that say that America was never great. I think that's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I mean, I think they just want to say that because they hate Trump
Yeah.
and they want to hate his slogan, although it was a genius one. It's a genius campaign slogan. That's one of the best ones ever. But at the same time, they just make it not appealing at all.
What Trump? The idea.
The presidential election.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it's a position that when you're a kid, you're like you wanna. What do you want your kid to be one day? It's a doctor or a lawyer or president of the United States.
Yeah, when we were kids, I feel like we used to look up to the presidents. Now, I don't know.
Media just ruins it.
I don't look up to whoever the next president will be. I won't.
I don't even look up to any politicians, to be honest.
Oh no, they're all liars. They're all dirty liars. I mean, you gotta, like you said, sometimes you have to lie, but
sometimes there's things you have to lie about. I mean, you should lie about some things. Like, I mean, if there's something really bad going on, like what happened like back in the day, politicians had to lie about certain things and how bad certain situations were, but they didn't explain that situations were that bad, just for the simple fact that it would cause mass hysteria in the masses. You can't let everyone go crazy because not everyone can handle like news.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like, in a certain way, certain people react to certain things. So, like, I mean, like even the Zika virus or the swine flu when that came out, like swine flu was not that bad at all. Like a couple people died from it. It doesn't mean it was like everyone thought it was going to be like the Black Plague.
No, yeah,
it's not going to be the Black Plague. But that's why you have to hide some stuff like that and make it seem like it's really not as bad as it is.
Well, you can't hide anything now because of social media and everything. Like when in the 40s, FDR was president. He couldn't even walk. He was in a wheelchair half the time, but no one knew it. They hid it because they didn't want people to know that their president was like in a wheelchair.
He had polio, but
yeah.
I mean but back in the day though, polio was either you had to have the option of either sitting down your whole life or you want to stand up.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it happened a lot because there was a lack of oxygen sometimes when a child was born, preventing them from
breathing,
and they also had like the vaccine too. That's why there were a lot of children that were blind too. That there was a lack of oxygen flow to their brain, and it cut off their vision. But I mean, things are constantly going to change. I mean, we really saw the media swing when we were kids with George Bush, because I mean, he really shot himself in the foot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Obama has never really done that. I give him that much.
But
he's
also
never
the
done
media...
anything to make himself really look bad. But Hillary and Trump just they don't do themselves any favors.
No, they don't. All right, we will get into a little bit more of Hillary and Trump. A little bit about the pulse of the nation. We'll get into how Americans are reacting to the current state of the election here.
We have
on
tweets about that.
We can look up some tweets about that. I had some statistics.
That's kind of scary, because if you get a certain part of Twitter, things get out of control.
All right, that's what we're going to do on this next time. We're going to divulge into the dark abyss that is political Twitter. You're listening to the morning show, Martino and Rob, here on WICR.